We're going to turn this over because there is one feature I wanted to point out. So I got to be careful here to turn it over. Okay. In the kit, they don't tell you this. If I talked to the people at Banana Army. What they were saying was they don't bring the servo. They don't give the servos, or they don't have the servos with the kit. And they said you can fly it on the tail feathers. Obviously, you don't want to do that. You want to install the servos. But as you can notice here, what I've got to do is I've ran into a problem. You can see that this servo over here is going the opposite way from this servo. So now I've got to get a reverse servo on this side. So both elevators go the same way. They're going different ways. Which, you know, that's the way it came out of the kit. So I've got to go ahead and install another servo here to fix that. So like I said, both servos go the same way. I wanted to point that out as well. Next, we'll be getting a panel on. I did cut out an axis panel here. Now everybody's probably wondering, oh, you did that. No, this is going to fit in real nice. You won't even be able to tell that I cut this out. I'll get this put back in real nice, you know, and then the missiles will go on there. You won't be able to see. But the problem is you can't get into this axis to get all your wires run neat the way it is. They ran them on top, and you want to run your wires under the bottom here. With our servo, we got our servo installed. I had to notch out a little bit with a Dremel tool, just a little bit. It won't hurt anything. I'll touch it up with some gray and everything. When this is installed on here like this, inside there, what tends to happen is she'll slide around on you no matter how tight you put this. So what I do is I take and put a flat spot on the grinder over there. So I just grind out a little flat spot so when this screw rests, this won't turn. We've also got our servo set in, and as you can see, they both go the same way. So we got that problem solved. Okay, we left off last. We had to get our other aileron installed. So we've got our right aileron installed. And if you'll notice a real key point here, what I've done is on the aileron wires, one of the things you want to do is you want to run them along here with some CA glue and then have them loop around. And then what you have to do is you have to provide a path for them to lay. So some foam was removed out of here to get the wires to lay down. Alright? And that's because as the wings move, you don't want the wires getting caught up in here. So what I had to do is I had to end up coming back, taking the wings off, and redoing that installation. Also want to point out here, sometimes this will bump up here, so I had to trim just a little bit off to get both the wings to extend evenly. No big deal. Just a little routing out right there with a Dremel tool. Okay, now that we got the wings done, we've got that all completed, we'll move up front here to the inside here. Okay, what we've had to do is, this was a pretty complicated deal because of the fact that there's so much wire. Alright, I had to take all the wire that was inside here and run it underneath the wood, as you could see here. And they kind of come out, okay? We've got our BEC here, our Spectrum 6200. We also have our air lines here, okay? It's hooked up to the front. Alright, we've got our nose cone on. And one thing about the airline is it doesn't come with a the important thing about the nose gear is you got to realize is that I've taken and I've installed the links or the pieces that hold the wiring kind of upside down, alright? Now the reason for that, when the nose gear comes forward, this wire is down lowered closer to the fuselage. So what that'll do is that'll slack up because when the gear, remember when the landing gear comes down, it's going to hit these wires. That's what they did. These wires are going to loosen up and it's a good idea to do it. Instead of mounting them up top, I've decided to put them down lower. The panel that was removed earlier is glued back into place. You don't have to do this. I recommend you do it because you will not be able to get access to clean that compartment up for the wire installation. Now the battery, here's the battery that goes with it. Okay, what you're going to have to do is you have to trim a little bit right here to get the battery to set in because it's really big. Okay, and then what I've also done is I've also installed another piece of wood right here in this installation because I wanted some strength and I wanted to wrap a strap around the battery. You can't get access back here with the strap. Again, the wires are underneath, makes for a nice clean installation. And the battery, it drops right in like this. Real nice and easy. Alright, we've got our nose gear steering. Going real nice, as you can see there. We've got our ailerons. Okay, elevator. Real nice. Okay, and look at this. when the wings close, they close real nice. There's no binding, and you can see how the wires kind of go right like this. Again. Alright. And one thing I want to point out, when you install this panel, okay, you're going to put a fastener in the back here. You've also got to come along here and lay some tape along here, or put a little bit of CA glue, just a dab. I'm probably going to use some CA glue right here and right here, just to kind of hold this in place. Here. All right. One thing I want to point out that they do in the kit is they do not. The kit does not come with a air valve. Okay, as you can see, I have an air valve here. It's just like a standard air nozzle, like a bicycle or a car tire. You just put pressure to it and it goes into the tank. So I had to install that. We've got air pressure on the model, as you can see. And I did a little bit of detailing inside the cockpit there. But we have another pilot coming, so for now we just have this temporarily installed. Okay, our landing gear. Down here there's a little Allen screw, okay? You've got to make sure that that screw is flush or it'll jam up in the gear. They don't tell you that, but I found out the hard way, so I had to grind it down a little bit. You can still get at it. The key's still good, okay? All right. Now on the other side, one thing that you got to do also is you have to, the Allen key is inboard, so you have to take this gear out and install and make sure that Allen key's flush. Another key factor on this is on the gear you have to remove a little bit of foam right here, because on these retracts when they come down they will jam up because the spring doesn't have that high of a pressure to extend the landing gear. Same thing, same principle. You've got a little Allen screw on the other side over here. Okay, you've got to make sure that that's flush, but you don't want to have it too tight because you need the gear to turn, as you can see. So there's our gear turning. And this, okay, now we're going to retract the landing gear, give you some idea how she does, hopefully. Okay, there's our gear. It all goes down real nice. As you can see, our nose wheel sets up in here flush. The cables, they're designed to do that. They're going to flex, and it's going to cause the nose wheel steering to go center when you go retract. So now we're going to extend the landing gear and gear up. Okay, nice and smooth. Gear down. Most important thing is on this landing gear, once you get it perfected, run it a few times because you don't want to have the gear not come down in flight. All right, we've got the model on the scale. Okay, let's see how much she weighs. 3 pounds, 6 ounces. It's a CG. We will CG it. I have a CG machine. What we'll do is 48 inches aft from the nose. And you're going to add forward 5 millimeters because of the armament when you put the armament. Okay, we're going to do our thrust check now. Let me go ahead and retract the wings. Okay. All right, let's get the scale zeroed out here. 3 pounds, 6 ounces. It makes 1 pound, 13 ounces of thrust. Okay, on the air tank, I didn't mention it, but I want to tell everyone that it holds about 65 pounds of pressure, and with 65 pounds of pressure, that'll give you about 8 to 9 retracts. All right, the only thing left is to install our RIO officer in the back, which we've got coming. We've completed the build. As you can see, we've got our missiles installed. We did install some of these minor decals that came with the kit, as you can see up here, and that is it. The F-14. Okay, everyone, that concludes our F-14 build video. I appreciate everyone watching. Look forward to having her out on the field, see how she flies. Until then, have a great day, and thanks for watching.